The courtroom fell silent the moment I stepped through the door. At first, I thought it was the usual tension of a divorce hearing, the forced civility, the thin smiles, the quiet performance of people pretending not to hate each other. But then I saw him, the judge. His face drained of color. His hand trembled against the gavel. He looked at me as though he'd seen a ghost crawl out of his nightmares. "Dear God," he whispered, forgetting the microphone was still on. "Is that really him?" My ex-wife laughed under her breath. Her new husband, the senator, shook his head, amused. I didn't speak. I didn't have to, because the only ones laughing were the ones who still believed this was a normal case. They had no idea who I was, or what I used to do. 2 years ago, she walked out of our home with a lawyer's smile and a stranger's eyes. Said she wanted stability, influence, a better example for our daughter. The senator gave her all of that, on paper. The press called them a power couple. I called them what they were, predators who believed their world was untouchable. When I asked for shared custody, the judge smirked. "A soldier?" he said. "Your wife's new husband is a senator. Full custody to her." That was the day I realized truth doesn't matter in court, only power does. So I stayed quiet. I let them believe they'd won. I let her smile on television and pretend the man beside her was some kind of savior. Until one night my daughter called. Her voice was a whisper, thin, cracked, terrified. "Daddy, he locked me in the basement. 3 days. No food, no light. Mommy didn't stop him. She said it was for discipline." Silence. Then a small sob. "Please don't tell anyone. He said he'll make you disappear." That's when the soldier in me died, and something colder took its place. I didn't shout. I didn't call the police. I made a list. Names, numbers, locations, people I hadn't spoken to in a decade, men who don't officially exist. I made one call. No threats, no emotion, just a sentence. It's time to collect a debt. Then I waited. 3 days later, the senator missed a committee hearing. His staff said he was unreachable. The media said health emergency. My daughter's school called to say she'd been picked up by her mother's assistant for a long trip. But I already knew where she was. When you've spent 18 years as a CIA interrogator, you learn to track lies, not through data, but through behavior. I traced the senator's private plane manifest to an airfield in Virginia. Its return flight never landed. Meanwhile, the judge received an envelope. No return address, no fingerprints, just a single drive labeled classified, level 5 clearance required. Inside were photos, coordinates, transcripts, proof that the senator had been laundering black funds through a private security contractor. The same contractor tied to 2 missing field agents, the same division I used to train. When I walked into court that morning, everyone thought it was about custody. It wasn't. The judge knew. That's why his hands shook. He'd read the file. He'd seen what I'd done before. The names, the operations, the outcomes. He knew that the senator's disappearance wasn't a coincidence. It was a correction. "Mr. Callan," he said slowly, his voice breaking on my name. This case has taken an unexpected turn." My ex-wife frowned. "What's going on?" The judge didn't look at her. "Ma'am, your husband is under federal investigation." Her face collapsed, shock first, then fear, then something close to understanding. I didn't move. I didn't blink. Because in that moment, the mask she'd worn for years, the arrogance, the superiority, fell away. And she finally saw me not as her ex-husband, but as the man who'd stopped being human long before she betrayed me. I didn't have to say a word. The system corrected itself. The custody ruling was overturned pending investigation. My daughter would stay with me until further notice. She tried to speak to me afterward. Her lips trembled. "What did you do?" I looked at her the way I used to look at prisoners who didn't yet realize they'd confessed. "Nothing," I said. "I just told the truth to the right people." Her eyes watered. "He'll come back." I almost smiled. "No, he won't." That night, I stood at my daughter's door while she slept. She still twitched in her dreams, still whispered, "Daddy," like it was a plea. It would take years for her to unlearn fear, but at least now she could. I walked outside, lit a cigarette, and watched the world return to its noise. Somewhere headlines spun theories. Somewhere the senator's name was buried under national security review. No one would ever trace it back to me. They couldn't. My file was sealed before she ever met me. In the end, they didn't lose because I fought them. They lost because they forgot who I was. Final line. I wasn't her ex-husband in that courtroom. I was the consequence she never thought would come.